And this is something that is probably the most I don't know how to say overdone thing on sport, actually NFL media. And that's just top 10 quarterbacks, quarterback rankings, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
We're going to go over tier lists today. So obviously going into this season, we have now more expectations. We've seen younger quarterbacks climb the ranks. Herbert. I was about to say Tua. You wish I would say that. Herbert, Burrow. We've seen a lot of those guys. Obviously, Mahomes is there. Kyler Murray, we're a little bit iffy about. This is a very general question, Dylan. I'm going to be very impressed if you can answer this. But kind of when you're looking at next season, what are some of your tiers? If you want to go over the top tier, bottom tier, what do you find interesting about how are you going to put and class some of these quarterbacks going into this season?
All right, let's go for it. So first things first, we're going to go with the best of the best. And I've got a group of 4 quarterbacks that I can classify as the best of the best. Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Tom Brady. Those are the best of the best. I think we can agree on that.
Okay, good. Right.
Then I've got the elite group. And this is a bigger group. I've got Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, Matthew Stafford, Russell Wilson, and Dak Prescott.
Not putting Dak there. See, I'm not going to put Dak.
I put Dak here.
And again, that probably is me having some kind of bias, but I really, really do not think Dak's there. And I think if you're putting Dak there, I think you need to put Kyler there, and I don't think either of them deserve it.
That's where my next point is, and there's the next category will be, this is a smaller one.
Promising.
No, it's not promising. The next one, it's franchise guys. Surely franchise guys, not young guys that can turn into franchise guys. People that we know are franchise guys. That's Kyler Murray, Derek Carr, and it hurts me to put him in that category because I think he can be better, but I'm not quite comfortable enough to put him in the elite category with the other guys. But that's Kyler Murray, Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins, and Ryan Tannehill. I know he's having his issues in Tennessee with Malik Willis potentially taking his job, but I'm going to still put him in that category.
Here's what I'll say. I think, this is where I switch from yours. I think Derek Carr is an elite category. I think he will be at least this year. Maybe, I guess you can argue for him being in the lower category. I think he will be this year. Yeah, I agree. But the thing with Kyler is I think he's very unique in this group because I think you can argue for the fact, and I technically can't really argue against saying he's not a franchise guy, but I do think he may not be.
Well, he might leave Arizona.
Right, exactly. Here's what did you say, Matt Ryan?
I have I should have said Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan.
You can still put Matt Ryan.
Yeah, Carson Matt Ryan is in that category. No, Carson Wentz. No.
Do you think, and this might be a hot take, do you think Baker should be in the franchise guy category?
If his situation was cleared up, I'd say yes, but it's just gone, unfortunately for him, it hasn't gone well. And it's the same thing with Jimmy Garoppolo. I think I'd have probably in the next tier Garoppolo, but I think Mayfield's in that tier.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I think here's the thing with Baker. Again, we don't know. He's opting out of optional OTAs as expected. I definitely do think you can put an argument for him being in that franchise guy category. And you said you don't have him, Dylan, in there?
I don't have him quite there.
Explain why quickly, briefly.
Because last season, and I know he was on a torn labrum, he was playing injured, but the Cleveland Browns had an incredible team. There was no excuse for them not to be making the playoffs. And whether it be his fault or not, because there was obviously a multitude of problems, they're relying on him to get them there. Their team wasn't bad. He couldn't do it. So they're pushing him out. He's not a starting quarterback at the moment. So, and the fact that no one's really looking to bring him into their roster when there are teams that need to shows that I don't think he's quite the franchise guy.
Yeah. Again, I think you would have to track back 2 years to put an argument in for him being a franchise guy, but that I definitely kind of agree with the fact. But I think, and again, for Baker, the whole thing for me is we've seen he has the traits, and we've seen definitely he's a guy who you need to put talent around him. So the whole thing for me is this year with obviously what they've done in the offseason, and obviously say you're excluding Deshaun Watson from that, I think he could succeed this year. But no Brown fan, NFL fan is saying give Baker a chance because you have Deshaun. Although I doubt we'll be seeing him playing because Deshaun is is suspended. for I'm not
Most
sure how many
likely.
games it is.
Most likely going to be suspended up until, I believe, week 4. But it's
Right.
still a very open case. So who knows?
So again, and that's big in a very, very tough division, tough conference. That's big. Missing your starting guy or missing Deshaun level guy for 4 weeks is going to be huge. But again, we're getting on a bit of a tangent there. So continue with your rankings.
So next is a group that I like to call the unproven yet proven category.
Okay.
So if that confuses you, it's guys that I think they can reach the next level, but they haven't quite yet, but they've proven that they can play in the NFL at a level that's not killing their team. And this is a very small category. And that would be Jalen Hurts, Mac Jones, and Tua Tagovailoa. That would be the unproven.
Don't put in Tua. Don't sneak into Dylan.
No, that's the unproven yet proven category.
No, it's not. I think it's not, Dylan. Tua's not in that category. He's not.
How is he not in that category?
If you're putting him in there, Daniel Jones has to be in there.
Daniel Jones has proven that he can lead a team to 2 straight 4-13, 5-13 seasons. Tua Tagovailoa.
First of all, Tua had much more better coaching. Much more.
Better coaching?
Yes, he had Brian Flores.
Brian Flores was an excellent defensive coach, but he couldn't manage a high school offense.
Dylan, you can't put Tua in there.
I'm putting Tua in there because you can discredit me and you could say all you want about Tua not living up to the 5th overall pick, but he is serviceable.
But there's a big difference between proven and serviceable is different.
Proven that he can be serviceable.
But I don't think he's proven he can be serviceable. I think he's been bailed out several times.
Bailed out? He bailed the team out several times.
No, Dylan.
Against Arizona in the first season they played, against Los Angeles in the first season they played, last season against the Jets, last season against Carolina, he was excellent. But we're getting off topic again, though. My reasoning that
I think it's important when we're talking about quarterback tiers or replacing guys. I think it's important to talk about them and putting Tua in the proven. Tua is not proven.
Tua is proven but unproven. I don't think you understand my category.
Okay, well,
the proven but unproven is guys Mac Jones, who has proven he can play for the Patriots, but unproven in the fact that he isn't elite yet. So he can definitely up his play to a level that he can get up in the franchise group and the elite group. Same goes for Jalen Hurts. He played with the Philadelphia Eagles. He had a lot of upside, and he showed that he has made some mistakes, and I think he can correct that. He's proven that he can be the quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles without ruining them, but I think there's a lot more he can prove to put him in that elite tier. Tua Tagovailoa has proven that he can be the quarterback of the Dolphins and not tank the team. And this year, I believe he's going to prove that he can go into that franchise category.
But this is tiers before the season where we have them. That's why with Derek Carr, you don't have him in elite yet. Although I do still think you can argue him elite. I think he's not there yet because of Devontae Adams. And he probably will be because of Devontae Adams.
Before the season, if we're just going to go with tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, it's kind of just redundant. I want to put my own spin on it.
No, and I'm understanding it, but there is no way that Tua has proven in any way that he just hasn't. He was injured last year.
Last year when he played, he was not bad.
No, and I'm not saying he was bad. Although I think
his rookie year when he played, he was not bad.
No, his rookie year he was pretty bad.
He wasn't bad. He wasn't great by any means, but he wasn't bad.
And he wasn't. But saying good, like we need to have very, very rigid boundaries to where we think. And I think when you look at him this past year, I don't think you can contribute. You can't look at those wins and be like, "Oh, that was Tua."
I think there's 3 wins from last season that I'm going to say was 2. I'm going to give you 3.
And I think you can say there's 3 wins that Daniel Jones had. So if you're not having Daniel Jones there,
Daniel Jones only won. Did the Giants win 5 games last year? Daniel Jones, I think, only played in 4 of them. I might be wrong though.
No, but I'm saying kind of total. So give Daniel Jones the year before as well.
I'm not even really. I'm not even really going off of QB wins as the reason that I think Tua is in this category. I'm going off the fact that he showed promise, and that's very true. He did show promise, especially given the terrible offensive coordinator system, the terrible offensive line, and the lack of a running game. He showed the ability to be able to manage a playbook that was definitely not suited for him and help the team do as much as they can with the cancerous offensive line. So for that reason, and for the reason I might be a little bit biased, but for the reason that I truly do believe in his potential, his hip injury is completely gone, to improve his arm strength, his accuracy is top tier. I think he's going to be completely ready to challenge with the Dolphins for a playoff spot. but you're going off for what he's shown, unproven but proven, because he's proven he can play for the Dolphins and win games and be able to function in the offense, but he's unproven in the fact that he can't quite be elite yet.
But here's where I think you have a discrepancy, and that's where you say Tua's wins, say you're not contributing, you're not talking about the wins. I think that's the only viable argument you can have. That's the only thing Dolphins can grasp to say, look, this guy can be our quarterback. So discrediting that is just hurting your argument. You didn't discredit that. I'm not sure what you said. I was waiting for you to finish.
I said I'm not completely going off wins, and winning is completely important. I think Tua Tagovailoa.
But you said basing what we're talking about on quarterback wins, I think the only thing Tua really has going for him is the fact that the Dolphins have won games.
Tua's short ball accuracy is better than I think 95% of the quarterbacks in the league. I think we can.
And that's just not true.
It is.
No,
he had a better completion percentage than
because that's all he throws.
No.
And Dylan, and I'm not saying that that's because the offensive line, because it was bad, but all they did was RPOs,
they ran a lot of RPO and play action, but they ran a lot of RPO and play action because the offensive line won, and because Jalen Waddle was functioning perfectly. So why would they change it?
Yeah, but Dylan, Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill next year, if you want to take that step, which I don't know is possible with Tua, from what you were this year to playoffs, you need to have a deep ball. And I think unfortunately for Tua,
I think we have.
You've put him in a system, and I think this was high. And I'll get my rant in, but I think what Tua has shown is I can throw the ball short, I can release it in a second, and I can, have a good run. I can facilitate the ball. I don't think he's proven he has a deep ball. I don't think he's proven he has deep ball accuracy. I don't think he's proven I will say his deep ball accuracy, when we've seen it, the 3 times we've seen it, has been good. I think Tua is a very accurate
25 passes over 20 yards less.
Exactly. So not many, right?
It's not many, but we're
in agreement in that. Yeah, right. Well, whatever. It's exaggeration. I do think Tua is an accurate quarterback. I won't say that. I definitely think Tua has accuracy. I don't think he has arm strength. I don't think he has arm power. And I think what all Dolphins fans have been saying is, this definitely is a casual take. And I know, Dylan, you're going to think it's a casual take, but I think it needs to be looked at. And I think it's a valid point is he doesn't have the arm strength. And we saw that. We saw that in the clip that the Dolphins posted. Oh, Tua bomb. It was like a punt. It was in the air for way too long. It was wobbly and it was behind.
It was a terrible social media promotion, but matters.
And I do think that, are we dwelling on it a little bit too much? Yes. But the fact that the Dolphins posted that, maybe, and again, this is all speculation, maybe they just posted the wrong one and he maybe had an accurate pass. I'm not denying that. But I do think that there is some validity to the fact that he simply doesn't have the deep ball. And not validity. We know he doesn't have the deep ball. But I'm thinking going to next year, and again, this is the casual take that all people who are opposing the Dolphins are saying is, I don't think he's going to fit this new Legion of Zoom offense. And look, I do think he can check the ball down, and I think that they'll still be great at that. But I think this team will be at its most lethal with a quarterback who can throw it deep.
So what you've just compiled is why he's proven from last year. He's proven that he can be that check down guy. But I don't think that that's a viable option for many years. I don't think that's a good scheme. That's your own opinion. And I think if they kept him as the same player he was last year, which I don't think he will be, I think he's going to be greatly improved this year, mostly because of offensive scheming and offensive line, but also because his hip injury's gone. We've seen him in offseason. He's been able to throw a lot farther than before. His footwork is outstanding. And I just think we're going to see a lot of general physical improvement on his end. I've been tracking his progress very, very closely, as a Dolphins fan would be. And I am seeing the throws that he's able to make. He is able to throw the ball a little bit faster than he was last season, a little bit deeper than he was last season. The arc on the deep balls, the accuracy on the deep balls has always been there, and the velocity has always been a little bit of an issue. This year, I think we're going to see him be able to make those throws a little bit more comfortably. I'm not going to be able to say that he has a Justin or Herbert type arm, because it's just not true. But I think we're going to be able to see a little bit of the stigma that we've been seeing over the course of his career taken away. That is where I'm going with it.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's finish off the tier list.
Then we've got, I'm just going to class all these guys together, and it might not be fair, but I'm going to go with the 2021 rookies, and other than Mac Jones, and that's Davis Mills, Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, and Justin Fields. I'm going to leave Trey Lance out of this category just because we haven't seen enough of him. I'm not even going to put Trey Lance in here because we haven't seen enough of him.
And so let's get some explanation on the tier.
The tier is they all had, other than Davis Mills, and I like Davis Mills,
but I still think he needs to be in this.
I don't think Davis Mills is going to be helped enough in Houston. I think if Davis Mills was on the Jets or the Jaguars, he would be excellent.
I do think it'll be underrated. I think Mechie and Brandon Cooks and Brevin Jordan
they
and Nico
still have
Collins
no O-line and no run game.
Yeah. And I think they missed out greatly. Oh, no, sorry. They got Dameon Pierce. I do think they could have a run game. Dameon Pierce is a very good running back.
It's going to be Marlon Mack in week 1, and that's going to be an issue.
But Marlon Mack's not bad.
Marlon Mack has been out for the last 2 seasons.
But
I'm putting Davis Mills in this place and Trevor Lawrence in this place due to the systems they were in last year. Whether or not it's fair to Davis Mills to put him in this category because he was better than all these guys last year, I don't really know if it's fair. But just based on the college level that they played at, I don't think he's able to sustain it. It's probably not fair, but it is where I'm going to go with it. Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, they were all bad last year. Straight up bad. There's no
okay. And
Zach Wilson improved, but he was bad.
Okay, Dylan, but I really think you need to take perspective. If you're saying they're bad, then Tua was bad his rookie year.
No, Tua was better than all these guys clearly.
Yeah, he wasn't, Dylan.
He was.
And
other than maybe
all
Davis
these
Mills.
quarterbacks didn't have a quarterback to fall behind, a quarterback to hold their hand. And I know that as much as you
Justin
hate
Fields
that argument,
did.
No, he didn't. Justin Fields was put in over.
So was Tua.
Yeah, but Tua ended up then getting his hand held. Justin Fields in no way was it as much.
But either way, these rookie quarterbacks did not have as good statistical seasons, or in terms of playing style, were not as good as Tua.
Also, first of all, look at the Bears' offense. Horrendous.
Their offensive line was better than Miami's.
The Bears' offensive line is still poor.
Yeah, but it was much better than Miami's. And
but by much better, you're saying much better. Say Miami Dolphins had the 31st best offensive line. The Bears had like the 28th.
Yeah, sure. But Zach Wilson had a terrible, terrible, terrible start to the year. And as he improved, he still wasn't playing as well as Tua. So
I think he wasn't.
I've had this argument with Serge, another member of our channel, a lot of times. And the end of the season, statistically, and at least the way I like to watch quarterbacks play, I liked how Tua was playing better, and statistically Tua had a better end to the year. Trevor Lawrence didn't throw a touchdown for like 7 straight weeks.
Trevor Lawrence was under. Yeah. And Trevor Lawrence's year kind of went under the radar. Not a lot of people were talking about how much hype he got. Although I think this year he'll bounce back. I think this year. I
agree. I think having Doug Peterson instead of Urban Meyer is going to pay dividends.
And as much as I don't think they addressed the wide receiver one, I think still having a plethora of above average guys will definitely help him.
Yes, absolutely. Moving into the next category, if that's all right, we are going to go with the stopgaps. And this isn't anything on them. I respect a couple of these guys. A couple of these guys I'm not big on. But they're not franchise options, but they're capable of handling the team. So this is where Jalen Hurts and Tua and Mac Jones would be if I didn't think they had that untapped potential that we could see them sky up into the next level. This is the Jared Goff, Carson Wentz, and Mitchell Trubisky I'm going to put in here.
See, I do think that Jared Goff deserves to be a tier higher. I think Jared Goff is one of the most respectable. I think Jared Goff is one of the most hated on, but I think people are so quick to say he's awful. Where I think Jared Goff 100% deserves, and this is why I don't think the Lions took a quarterback. I think Jared Goff 100% deserves to get a second year in Detroit. And obviously the record doesn't reflect that, but I think we saw that on the Rams. Like, surround this guy with good players.
I think Jared Goff can be good, but I don't think the Lions are looking at him that way. I don't think the Lions are looking at him and seeing.
I don't think they were looking at him like that, and I think they might be now.
Who knows? It's interesting. I don't dislike Jared Goff, but I see him as a stopgap right now. And I'm actually I mean, at the end of the day, he probably I'm actually going to make a quick revision. I'm going to put. This is tough because I'm thinking about it now. There's a couple quarterbacks left on my list, and I don't know where to put Daniel Jones. And
he's a proven, not proven.
That's where I'm tending to look at him, but he's also not proven. But
I don't think I'm a Giants fan. I'm kind of waiting for the time for Daniel Jones to kind of not be the guy.
He's a tough one to grade because. Oh, and I'm also going to put Jameis Winston in the stopgaps. That's another one.
I think Jameis Winston is in the franchise. Sorry, I'll put Jameis Winston 2 categories higher. I think Jameis Winston is in the franchise, guys. I think the Saints could be very successful this year with Jameis Winston at the helm.
I think they can be very successful, but it won't be because of Jameis Winston. It'll be maybe not even in spite of Jameis Winston, but he's a stopgap. He is capable of keeping the team afloat.
I think he's able of winning, and we saw that last year. We saw what they did with him and without him, and it was pretty clear.
I'm not convinced of him with Dennis Allen as the coach instead of Sean Payton, because Sean Payton can make a paper bag look good at QB.
Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah.
But he couldn't make Ian Book look good, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, though. So I'm going to add Daniel Jones to unproven/proven, because I think that's the correct category to have him in. But it's difficult to put him there, but it's the only one that really fits him. And then I'm going to have Jameis in stopgaps. And the last one I'm going to have in the stopgap category is going to be a current backup, and that's Teddy Bridgewater. I think he's definitely capable of being a stopgap.
Yeah.
And then the last category, and this is just
where's Mariota?
I'm not going to go into all the quarterbacks that are backups, but I'm going to go into
where's Mariota?
Mariota is going to be in this category.
Oh.
And I like Mariota, but he's not a franchise guy.
Okay.
And this is guys that are not ready to start for teams this year. That whatever team they start on, they're not going to compete. They are not going to do well. And I'm not going to go into every backup quarterback that's on the list, but I'm also not going to exclude some guys. So there's some guys I'm going to just mention briefly. It's not really too important. And that is all the rookies, every single one of them.
Okay.
Kenny Pickett, Matt Corral, Desmond Ridder, Sam Howell, Malik Willis, Marcus Mariota.
Wow.
Sam Darnold.
Mm-hmm.
Gardner Minshew, just putting some guys out there. Jacoby Brissett, Tyrod Taylor, Joe Flacco, and then the last one, Drew Lock, Geno Smith. And the last one I'm going to put in here, and I think this is where we're going to have a huge disagreement. It's Trey Lance. I am not.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I am not sold on him. And I apologies, I forgot about Jimmy Garoppolo. He is also in the stopgap category. Trey Lance. You know what? No, that's not fair to Trey Lance. I'm going to put him in the rookie tier as well. That's not fair to Trey Lance.
I definitely think Trey Lance is ready to start. I think Trey Lance could be one of the most explosive guys this year.
I'm not sold on Trey Lance, and I know he can be definitely explosive, but we didn't see enough of him. The coaches don't seem so sure on him. They might not be starting.
The players are sold this year also.
Players might be sold, but we've been hearing reports from inside. I don't know how much that really matters. It might be all fake, but a lot of stigma with Trey Lance, and I didn't love him coming out of college. So he's someone we're yet to see.
Yeah.
And then Jordan Love, also someone we're yet to see. That was the last guy I was going to talk about. So that's my QBs.
All right. I think that's where we'll end it